Hello, hope everyone's doing well. And it was recently announced on the JP patch notes for 11.7 or whatever it's going to be that Musashi will be running. So, Violet Tempest, Blooming Licorice. I was going to make a joke, Blooming Licorice, but I just did it anyway. Blooming Lycoris will be running. And going off what it says, which is right over here, mouse over. There you go. Notice, plan to update the following content during the next maintenance. So the one after the upcoming one, 14th. Limited C event, Akira's Here's Moon. It's just, Google Translate, it's only so good. But all the ships are coming back, and all the skins are coming back. So we're going to take a look at the event. Gonna do the event PV. Gonna do a 1,000-foot view, and including looking at all the skins that'll be rerunning. And then look at the ships, and then look at the just general event stuff. So like the maps I recommend, event shop priority, point accumulation, that stuff. So let's get into the event PV.
ヨースター、アズールレーンはおかげさまで5周年。そなたと会える日を楽しみにしているわ。アズールレーン5周年イベント開催。
Alright, Violent Tempest, Blooming Lycoris. This will be a light version, so it'll be shortened. It'll only last a week, which sucks. Just because I don't have enough cubes, I don't have enough coins. That's why I'm trying to get this out. Let you know as soon as possible, because it's going to be a short rerun, as all the URs reruns are. The PV, I wish the PVs for URs were just longer and not just the acquisition animation. It's a little underwhelming, because you just get spoiled on it. Instead of just like, oh my goodness, what is this whole new thing? It's like, it's in the PV. You've seen what the animation is, which kind of sucks. But there will be 5 Shipgirls coming back, and 9 Maids theme skins. Obviously, Musashi is the center focus of this event. Got Musashi, Sakawa, Wakaszuki, Haguro, and Miyuki. With Wakaszuki being the event shop and drop. Also, she's in the gacha pool, but at limited lower rarity. Or, sorry, lower drop rate. And the Miyuki is the point accumulation reward, and she's got an interesting skill kit. She's got a head wound dressing on, and that's for a reason. As for the skins, obviously all the girls are here, and as well as Mikasa, Mutsu, Hamikaze, and Tanakaze. So we'll take a look at them now. All very nice skins, by the way. Here is Sayakawa's. A little Dengo on her face. I think that's what it's called. Musashi. I think this is probably the weakest one, just because it feels a little too similar to her default. I know it doesn't have all like the fluff along the edge of her dress and stuff, but what hand? I don't know whose hand that is. Yeah, but overall, her dress is getting wet. Decent enough. And obviously with Musashi coming back, if you got one of her skins, or if you've oathed her, or well, no, if you haven't gotten her, you can't oath her, obviously. But now you can use the skin, or you can oath her, get the oath skin. There you go. And Mikasa getting some love. Got a nice chocolate cake there. Mighty tasty. Got a Manju maid uniform. Always working hard, those little birds are. A Wakaszuki. She's about to scald this poor bird to death. Very sad, very tragic. Justice for Manju number 3607, whatever that one is. Shocked face. Shocked. Guro. I'm gonna go over punk aesthetic here. Cropped and more exposure. She's got Vestal's medical kit. Vestal's got a little different colors, it appears. Managers are doing some first aid. These ones are very small birds for whatever reason. Not full grown. They're conscripting the baby Manjus to be first aid officers. Oh no, where are we at? And then Miyuki going to set up her street stall. The old man Manju's got a little mustache. It's all white. White with age and wisdom, clearly. Pretty nice. Mutsu caught ogling the snacks. Oh, and she was eating a donut too. Oh my goodness, those are for the customers, not you, you goofy. And then Hamikaze going for like the kind of idol maid, like mascot type deal. Got many foods floating around. Hopefully they don't fall and ruin the foods. That'd be kind of nasty. Kind of a waste of food. And then Tanakaze. There you go. She's the cleaning maid. And we got a Manju's. Doomed to the abyss, evidently. Sucks for that Manju. And there's one having a fun time on the not Roomba, but autonomous vacuum cleaner. It appears quite a few Manjus have been captured this way. Very sad times for them. Guess we'll get into the Shipgirls. Oh, for that. Okay, and so because this is a shortened event, there are obviously the pity system will be here. And in addition, where is it? There will be 44 free polls with the coupons. Oh, this isn't the rerun page, so obviously it's not going to be here. But we'll get 44 free polls. This is spread between the special login, which is 3 days. You get all the things from that. A couple missions you can do, and then you can get some from the event shop. I think you get 5 from there. So that all ends up adding up to 44. So yeah, hopefully you can get whoever you want there. I only have Musashi and Sakawa hanging around because at the time I was not buying a bunch of dock space. So Wakaszuki, Haguro, and Miyuki. I don't know why I said her name like that. Yeah, they went to the Great Dockyard in the Sky, exchanged for some medals of honor. But I'll try and see if I can get Haguro back, and these two I can get for free. So that's fine. Yeah, I guess we'll get into the Shipgirls now. Alright, so first up we have Musashi. She's the second of the class, first in game of the Yamatos. The younger sister of, obviously, Yamato. She, stats-wise, HP, probably, I think it's still the highest, and firepower, probably still the highest of all the battleships. So she hits like a truck, and she's incredibly tanky. I've seen her used in solo runs for a lot of late-game campaign stuff. She's just that good. And she's in PvP, all sorts of stuff. Where if there's a battleship needed, Musashi is either the primary candidate or number 2, and it's a close tie. She's that good. I obviously still prefer New Jersey, and Jersey is much better A stat, but can't win them all. Musashi, it's okay. Skills, violet type. For her skills, Violet, Lightning Storm, fires a main gun, fires a special barrage, and this is a direct in line in front of her, and it basically her like rigging / stand she has behind her takes a sword and does a slashing, and it's like just a straight row. So it'll only be directly in front of her. It's not a widescreen, but whatever gets hit, it's hit hard. And emphasize that. She hits like a truck. More than a truck. And if she's a Sakura main gun equipped, this barrage is improved, what you want to do. Now, until relatively recently, you were kind of limited on options for what main guns you could use on her. Obviously, I don't have it equipped at the moment, but you could use, I reset my filters, dang it. Fortunate. You could use the gun that came with the event, the Yamato gun. Just the main problem is, other than pros, it hits really hard. Got pretty good accuracy. And overall, pretty good. The main problem, that reload speed is terrible. That is god awful. And so that's why I didn't like using this gun on her. There are some situations where I've seen this gun used on her. Obviously, it procs the barrage, make it better. But it's just so slow, you're missing out on some shots, and if it's longer engagements like challenge mode, or just bosses that have a lot of HP, you want to get those shots off quicker. So, what the primary gun for her for the longest time was this gun. You can make it in the Gear Lab. It is an improved version of this gun right here, which you can get in a ton of places. Very good gun in its own right. It's just the other one's a little improved version of it. You could also use the Izumo gun, which you can farm in this event from D3, and another good option for her. And what I have started using now that PR7 has come out is the Dyson gun. It's only twin, but it's fairly fast. It's hard. So yeah, you got some options there. And then AP secondary, anti-air gun, just give her the bow for stag for the AA. And the hit. 4 hits always nice. And you can run salt and pepper shells. I have the fire control radar, but you can run the black shell on her and the white shell. Oh, there it is. Let's go to upgrade one. You can run the Admiralty table. I had the Admiralty table on her, but I took it off just for demonstration's sake. Like, oh, you have to have this gun. No, you can just use a little weaker version of the equipment, not the gun. And augment gear. I kind of prefer the bow gun. It's just the main problem of the bow gun is if you're fighting light armor enemies, which you'll fight destroyers, you do less damage to them. So it's a trade-off there using that. But I like the firepower and AA. And then the hit is nice on the officer sword, but it only works on the first volley she fires. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, Musashi, really recommend. And actually, we gotta look at the rest of her skills. We gotta do. But yes, very, very good. And so you got more gun options for her now. The rest of the skill, the special barrage has a 50% increased crit rate, and the lightning bolts from this barrage inflict a special debuff. The enemies hit, increasing their damage taken by 5% for 8 seconds. And if the enemy has heavy armor, the debuff is increased to 10% instead. So overall, starting off, really strong with the barrage. And then Tempestuous Blade. Increase the ship's firepower by 20%. Already good. And accuracy by 5%. Very nice. And if she has soccer gear equipped, increase the ship's reload by 10% and main gun crit damage by 15%. Now let's see if you're filling this one with the main gun, as we Sakura, you're being that criteria as well for the second skill. So there you go. 2 in 1. We like that. And the reload does help a little bit with her main gun that comes to the event being slow, but it's still ungodly slow, and I don't like it. And then lastly, Musashi's Guardianship. And has 2 different effects that kind of vary by the situation. When the battle starts, if the ship is not in your flagship, or your airspace control status is not air incapable or air denial, reduce the ship's damage taken during battle by 30%. And this also works in PvP. And if the ship is afloat, fires a supporting barrage like all the other URs do. And she actually fires it twice. It's very nice. And then this is only when she's not in exercises. So the first part is always on. The second part of the skill is not when she's exercises. While the ship is above 40% HP, grants Musashi's guardianship status to all your other main fleet ships. Ships with the status no longer take ramming damage. That is very big for like chapters 14 and 15, because there's a lot of ramming ships and they hurt. So that's really good. Forces Musashi become detected if they become detected as well. And Musashi will be prioritized by enemy attacks if they are both valid targets. So this is just more of a reference to Civilian Sea, where she got the snot beat out of her by the American aircraft, and Yamato, she got hit as well. But Musashi obviously got sunk during the Civilian Sea battle. And so, referencing that. So no ramming damage. Very, very good. Yeah, Musashi hits like a truck. Very good overall. Nothing crazy with the limit breaks. But if you don't have her, definitely try and get her. If you're watching this after the fact, or you're watching this way in the future, hello, and she's getting added to permanent, definitely a good option to grab when you get your 20, or it's not your 20, your 200 pity, and she's up for selection. I definitely recommend her over someone like Ulrich or Shinano or Shimakaze, just because she's just so tanky and she can carry you so far. Yeah, Musashi, get 2 thumbs up. Really recommend. Next up is Sakawa. She's the Gano class, which is a light cruiser. Got pretty good AA for a Japanese cruiser. Got decent torpedo, so very good. I was just kind of looking at her like, oh, this is just Noshiro too, but her skills are nothing like Noshiro's, and unfortunately, she's just not as good as Noshiro. Obviously, needs to be different. You don't want just straight power creep. That's not fun. She has the preload. Yeah, Japanese ships have the preload. And then, so her skills, keeping you on your toes, increase the ship's torpedo by 20%. Already pretty good, so bumps it well over 400. And then, once per battle, when the ship takes damage totaling more than 5% of max HP from one hit, so it's gotta get chunked pretty decently. Deploys a shield that can negate up to 10% of the ship's max HP and damage. So, I guess if she gets directly hit by a battleship shell, the first set of volleys gonna activate the skill. The second set should activate the shield. Well, should hit the shield. And if the shield is destroyed, increase the ship's evasion and damage dealt by 15% until the battle ends. It's just getting hit that hard is a bit questionable. And then you're less likely to do from torpedoes because adaptive blade work decreases the ship's torpedo damage taken by 20%. And when the battle starts, every 20 seconds, once per battle, if the ship's HP is below 25%, restores 10% of the ship's max HP. Okay, survivability, we like that. If the ship's HP is above 25%, fires special barrage. All right. And increase ship's crit rate by 15% for 15 seconds. 3. If the ship has sunk 3 or more enemies in the battle, decrease the ship's damage taken by 20% for 15 seconds. So RNG, but I'm guessing that 2 of them can activate at the same time. So if she has sunk the enemies and her HP is, in the thresholds, then she's both those effects. But 1 and 2 can't activate at the same time, but 1 and 3, or 2 and 3. So just very conditional. 25%. I know you're not getting that low unless it's like a hard boss fight. Scraping by at the end. So Kawa, kind of on. She got a nice design, nice skins. Those skins too. Flowers of Love, that's the first one. Got a little summer skin. Having is it like a sun bear, I think it's called. A nice party dress skin. But usability, I tried to use her for a little bit and just was not a huge fan, I'll be honest with you. So I feel like there's probably better options. So if you don't get her, oh well, go try Noshiro, and Noshiro is guaranteed for free. So that's always nice. Alright, next up is Wakaszuki Destroyer. Obviously, great torpedo, terrible firepower for a Sakura destroyer. That's just pretty typical. But stats across the board, good reload, really good evasion, and she's above that 200 threshold for ASW, so that's quite good. And she got some skills. Well, a skill that is very ASW focused, which is nice. So her skills, Swallow's Sword Dance. Every 10 seconds, increase the ship's firepower and ASW by 5%. And fires a special barrage that penetrates enemy shields. And this buff can be stacked with 3 times. And then increases the ship's damage dealt to enemies hit by this barrage's slash by 10%. And decreases the ship's cannon and torpedo damage taken from those enemies by 10% as well. So like the firepower and AA buff, that's nice. I mean, firepower, that's not going to do much for her. But AA, okay, decent enough. And then ignore shields, that special barrage, that's cool. And then just makes her get more survivability. And when the battle starts, buffs her ASW by 50%. And gets a special ASW weapon. So you could skip doing the death charge on her. And give her more survivability gear. Or more torpedo gear. Something like that. And she probably needs a sonar scan, but you'll probably be detecting enemies anyway, so it's not a big deal. And when sorting one of her sisters of the Wakaszuki class, increases her own evasion by 15%. And once per battle, when a ship in your vanguard flies below 30% HP as a result of damage taken, that ship evades all attacks for 2 seconds and gains a shield that can block up to 6% of Wakaszuki's max HP in damage. So Wakaszuki, while I have not used her and I sent her to the Great Dockyard in the Sky, looks pretty good. I like the ASW effect. Obviously, firepower not great, but it gives viability with the other skill. So yeah, I think if you get her from event drop or from the shop, very good. I would not spend your cubes just because lower chance of getting her, and you can get her for free elsewhere. Well, quote unquote free. Yeah, pretty good. Definitely put her above Sakawa. I'm gonna say her name every different time. Different. I'm gonna say that poor girl's name different every time I say it, but oh well. Yeah, definitely good pickup if you can get her. All right, Haguro, a ship I have never looked at the skills before. Pretty much today. Just I didn't like her design, so I didn't bother with her. She got a cool plague mask. It's got some crows. 3 crows. Oh, gotta be careful. Morrigan might be nearby. And 3 crows. Careful out there. Anyway, so Soccer Empire, Elite, Heavy Cruiser. I didn't realize a lot of their Heavy Cruisers have really low torpedo compared to what I thought they would be. I thought they'd be like high 200s, low 300s, but evidently not. So that's a little underwhelming, a little disappointing. And then, so for skills, Plumes of Darkest Night, increase the ship's damage dealt to DDs and light cruisers by 15%. So that's nice. It's just, she has the CL main guns, so they fire a little slower. And then every 15 seconds, fires plus barrage, and it's a 75% chance to activate at max level. If the effect fails to activate, the ship instead restores 3% of max HP. So I like that. It's just the condition is okay. You lose some damage, get some HP, but you have a good chance of doing that damage. So the HP restore isn't really reliable. Not a huge fan of that. And then follow the trends. When the ship hits an enemy with a torpedo, it increases the ship's evasion by 10% for 10 seconds. And when your Vanguard take damage a total of 10 times, decreases the ship's luck by 5, and the damage taken by your Vanguard by 10% until the battle ends. So I like that. This skill, pretty good. Yeah, she's not terrible, but I just feel like there's better tanking options and that do more damage. Ibuki. So I'm not gonna really recommend her. It's just a torpedo reload. Torpedo preload. It's always nice. Yeah, gonna give her a thumbs down. Not a big fan, unfortunately. If you like her, that's good. Hopefully you get her as soon as possible. But personally, not a big fan. All right, and finally we have the point accumulation ship, Miyuki. She has a head wrap, and I just looked up, a little bit of her history, brief, and it was brief. She accidentally rammed her sister Inazuma in 1934, and she sunk. So that's all she wrote, unfortunately, for Miyuki. Her skills reflect that, so obviously her design with her head wrap reflects that. And stats wise, good torpedo, bad firepower, decent ASW. But for her skills, this time, she's prepared. When a ship in your Vanguard rams into an enemy, decrease that ship's damage taken by 25% and increases your Vanguard's firepower and accuracy by 10% for 10 seconds. This effect does not stack, and repeat activations only refresh the buff's duration. And when the battle starts, every 10 seconds, this ship and the Vanguard ship's Jasoner take 6 damage for 3 seconds, and their evasion is increased by 10%. So, I mean, you could do a meme team of Miyuki, Leipzig, and Glowworm. The ramming meta is here, gamers. Oh, yeah, that's... I mean, yeah, you can use her for blocking ramming ships, I guess. Ramming or blocking suicide boats where your guns deal with them, but definitely a meme here, or a meme skill, sorry. And then there's emergency maneuvers. Basically, it's a built-in weaker version of the washing machine equipment. So yeah, point accumulation. You'll get her if you get. Well, I think it'd be actually less because it's a rerun. It'll be only 5,000 points this time as opposed to 10,000 originally. But yeah, if you like her design, I mean, her design isn't bad. Got that skin, and another good nice skin. Cat's got a fox. Looks very happy. Brain damage aside, yeah, just this just ramming meta, I guess. Yeah, she's decent enough. Just skill wise, she's basically like a common in terms of skills because I don't know how much you're gonna be using the ramming mechanic. Probably not a lot. Unfortunate for her. That very short history, but fitting skill, I guess. All right, now they're taking a look at all the new ship girl or all the returning ship girls and all the returning skins. All be available for the week. You can rent the skins. Who's rentable? By Musashi. Oh, Musashi, Sakawa, and Wakaszuki. Oh, let's see. Furniture at the Manju Arcade. Like a festival, not an arcade. I don't know why it says arcade. Oh, Manju Academy Festival. Oh boy. Academy stuff. Skins just related. Paintbrush shell. All kinds of nice. Ooh. Candied apple. Oh, torpedo. Dang it. Like for pea shells. What are the shells? Okay. Candied apple stall. It got some funny like aircraft. Oh, you can drop squid on people. Or octopus. That's funny. So daily missions, build through ships, sort of typical stuff. And include the map stuff. Little tower thing. The maps, there's a special mechanic I saw. So all of these ships here, let's read them out. Nagato, Kawakaze, Rameshiro, Haradzuki, Ie, Haruno, Shokaku, Akagi, Miyuki, Yamashiro, Ryuho, Jinsu, Kaga, Mikasa, Kinu, Hadakaze, Haguro, Kongo, Kirishima, Musashi, Sakawa, Wakazuki, Suzuki, Chishose, and Shioda all a 3% stat buff for all the maps for this event. So, you want to use them? And like, oh, that's doing so well. Well, guess what? They'll do a little bit better. And the different stages have like different effects. So like there's fog, buff speed, less damage, give shield, take more damage, and battleships get stuff. And then cleared maps, you get like some cool stuff. Makes it easier to farm. Actually, this one does damage to you. Whoops, that's not good. And then as for stages, for the normal stages, normally I don't do them, but you get Unicorn from A1 and levels 25 for the boss. So very easy. If you haven't grabbed her from the guild shop, or you just don't have her, and you haven't grabbed her from the guild shop, you can farm her here. Or if you need duplicates of her, there you go. It's a very low level area to grab her. Obviously, she's in the hard mode stage as well. I wasn't too impressed with the gear on this event, unfortunately, for most of the stages. Like, you can get the drop tank, which is nice. What else was there? You get the torpedo bulge and boiler and the basic sonar, which is nice. Those are getting 2 battle cruisers. The weekend Ryusei. And then, oh, you get Yubari. Ooh, actually, Yubari is pretty decent because she gives all your cruisers extra EXP, which is nice. I thought she was only, I guess they added her. I thought she was only light pool only, which is nice. Okay, cool. Yes, you don't have Yubari? Maybe think about grabbing her. Definitely helps with farming people like Azuma and Ibuki, and I guess it would work for Kawakaze or Kitakaze now. Any other future Sakura PR ships. Also get the Suisei, which is nice. very fast torpedo or dive bomber. And then I would recommend the most D3, which is very typical. Yes, you can get Wakaszuki and Nelson, pretty good. Juno's good. But above all, you can get the Izumo gun, which was only in PR1. So if you want to get it, probably get all of it this event, hopefully. And that we're not waiting on research, so this will be good for Sakura ships, just anyone in general, but also Musashi. That way she has a good gun that's AP, and it activates her skill. You don't have to wait on the slow reload time of her gun that she gets from the event. SPCA just the same as the D3 as usual. Then shop. If you don't have one, definitely worthwhile picking up this. I don't know if you really need to get two. I mean, I'm gonna get two just for collection's sake. Just like, oh yeah, I got both of them from each event. Cognitive raids, cognitive chips are always useful for leveling up ships or limit breaking them. Sorry, well, not limit break them, awakening them. Different. And then general blueprints and special blueprints for season 5 and below. And you get some augment cores for your augment modules, so you can upgrade those. And gear parts if you need them, coins, oil, typical stuff. But think about grabbing that gun. And then everything else kind of usual. If you're gonna get any gearboxes, Eagle Union first, and Royal Navy, and the two kind of Sakura's not bad. You get some decent torpedo bombers and dive bombers. Then point accumulation, this will be truncated, so a lot quicker to get. And you get like 5,000, 3,000 points. Start out where for day 2 login. Miyuki at whatever point that will be. Bolin. So typical stuff. These will pretty much always be the same. Sometimes there'll be, obviously the point accumulation ship will change. And for certain events like the Tempest event we just had, there's other stuff in there, like old rerun ships and the cats. But it's typically, skill book, coins for first couple, and blueprint stuff, which is always good. Works this way. But if you've seen it once, you've seen all of them. Pretty much, you don't need to farm past. Like, I don't go past pretty much like 40,000 or something. Sometimes go 50,000 on a new event. But after that, I can't be bothered to go that far. That's too much. Don't have that much time in the day. So yes, this was the Violent Tempest Blooming Lycoris. I said it again. Lycoris event rerun. Like I said, it's going to be shortened, so it's only a week long. But you will get 44 free pulls from the tickets. Let me know what you're most excited for. Obviously, I bet a lot of people are excited for Musashi. It's going to be very good, a very good pickup for you guys. If you don't have her already. And if you want to get more for, I don't know, fleet power rankings, there you go. You can farm some Musashis, I guess. Hope you get lucky. Yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, who your favorite is, if any skins you're going to get. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Share it if you thought it was useful. Might help someone else. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.